Hello everyone, welcome to the When It Worked podcast. You're with host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by Dr. Josh McConkey and Robin Waite. Ben Cena is missing in action. Welcome to the show, guests. Let's have a round of applause for our guests.
Welcome. Nice to see you.
All right, now I thought today, because I had a bit of time to set up, even though it seemed like it wasn't working, we're going to play a little game of celebrity lookalikes. Well, not a game. I hope nobody gets offended. Are you ready for your celebrity lookalike, Dr. Josh?
Oh my gosh, this would be fun. Who you got?
Peter McNichol from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah,
this is kind of like if you order Dr. Josh from Temu.
Okay, there we go.
All right, let's get rid of that one. Robin, are you ready?
Go for it. Yep.
All right, you're better looking than this guy, but nevertheless, here it is. Oh, get rid of that. Jeff Ross.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
I think if I grew my hair out, it would look like that.
I think I've done you in there, haven't I?
Hey, did you guys watch the Tom Brady roast on Netflix?
A bit of
Jeff
it,
Ross
yeah.
On there?
It was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Yeah. Well, this guy, because Jeff Ross is a big roaster, and he's hilarious. You got to see the one when he goes into the prison, and there's these like Aryan Nation or whatever, like skinhead guys, and he's just he's in there with them. He's Jewish, and he's just teeing off on them. It was so funny.
Oh boy.
Anyway, that's Jeff Ross. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's play the game. And basically, the way it works is you pick a category, and we go through the questions. There's no wrong answers. All you can do is gain points. All right, so the categories are no cattle. These are farm animals, but not cattle. Anything that can be farmed. A sticky situation. Can't remember. I think it's sticky stuff. Yeah, sticky stuff. Double D, words that have two Ds in them. Metals, +8. This is mathematics, so I would absolutely struggle in this one. Dr. Josh will probably ace this one. The Stan Lee Cup, kind of Stan Lee from Marvel trivia.
Okay.
Bit of a joke on the hockey.
This is a hockey.
Yeah, it's not hockey. Yeah, it's Marvel.
Oh, bummer.
All right, Robin, you can kick things off. What would you like?
Oh, no. I'll go +8.
+8. 12 squared +8.
152.
152. That was pretty quick. If you get this right, I am
Boom.
considering you. Yes, you're a bit of a mathematical
Nice.
threat, Robin. I can see why you picked it. What would you like next?
Oh, let's go no cattle.
No cattle for 100. This term for a type of fat-heavy pig developed in the late 19th century is now applied to any pig of more than 120 pounds. What do we call big fat pigs? Come on, Dr. Josh.
Hog.
A hog is correct. Well done,
hog?
Dr. Josh.
You done?
You're in control, and you got 100 points.
Oh, let's go with the no cattle for 200.
No cattle for 200. Are you from a rural area, Dr. Josh?
Yeah. I grew up in western Nebraska.
Here we go. Don't be afraid to tell us the familiar name of this fowl, Gallus domesticus.
What is a mallard duck?
Mallard duck. I'll accept anything duck related. It's a chicken.
No.
Well, didn't have any chicken on the phone. Well, maybe you just didn't walk around calling them the Latin name, but
No.
still in control, Dr. Josh.
Okay, no cattle for 300.
No cattle for 300. Species of this food and clothing provider include the Shropshire, Caracal, and Merino. Do you know it, Robin?
I do.
Holla.
Yep. Wool. Well, it's sheep.
Yes, sheep is correct. Well done. The only one I knew, which one did you know? Shropshire, because that's from England.
Well, it was the merino wool.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I knew. I thought that they were
Yeah.
mostly Australian,
Yes.
but I guess they're only Australian because we got them from England. The Aborigines didn't have any. All right, you're in control now, Robin.
Let's have a bit of fun. Let's go for a sticky situation.
Oof.
Sticky situation 100. This brand of glue is known for its spokes bull. This will be a US brand. This is an actual Jeopardy question. Does any glue have a bull on it?
Oh, goodness. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's just the school one. That's going back some years.
Is it in a stick or is it in like a container with a
Well,
paint?
well, it comes both. It's just the brand. It's I can see the picture.
Bull, but he can't. It's on the tip of his tongue, and none of us have any idea because we don't have that brand. Let's take a look. It is Elmer's.
Elmer's glue.
Elmer's.
Ah.
Like Elmer Fudd. You're still in control.
Let's go +8.
There, go back to the maths. 2011 times 3 plus 8.
6,041.
Hey, Rain Man, you should come to Vegas with me.
Count some cards.
Yeah.
Nice.
What would you like, Robin?
I'll probably embarrass myself now. Let's go +8 again.
Plus 8.
Get it wrong.
5 times 6 times 7 plus 8.
218.
Wow, you're very good at this. Did you do mathematics at what do you call it in England?
We have
O levels.
we have GCSEs, which are O levels, and then we have A levels, which is like when you're 18. So I did A level maths, but I only got a C.
So that's the top maths, but you passed the top maths.
I passed the top maths.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's smart. In my house, nobody in my house could do mathematics, but we're good at writing. Anyway, enough rambling. You're in control. What would you like?
Well, let's go away from maths.
Yeah.
'Cause let's go. I tell you what, we'll do
Just
for
write
Josh's
it.
benefit, the Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup for 100, I'm assuming. He crawled out of Stan's head for Amazing Fantasy in 1962 before spinning off into his own comic book.
I'm going to go with Superman.
Okay, look, you're good at maths, but Dr. Josh,
Who is Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is correct. Well done.
Oh, no.
I mean, they gave you so many clues. He crawled, he was spinning, he was amazing.
Between the two.
Sorry to rub it in.
Really obvious.
I really teed off on you there.
Oh.
Dr. Josh, what would you like?
Boom. Yeah, we'll do Stanley for 200, please.
Stanley for 200. Stan's movie cameos include one in 2011 as a truck driver trying to pull this god's hammer out of the ground.
Boom. Who is Thor?
Thor. It's got to be. Well done, Dr. Josh.
We'll go for 300. Yes.
Stanley for 300. Incredible. This plus-size Lee hero was originally grey, but printing troubles turned him green.
Ooh. Who was the Hulk?
These are pretty easy, aren't they? Dr. Josh, what would you like?
Let's go 400.
400. DC Comics Justice League of America was selling well. So in 1961, Stan Lee helped create this Marvel superhero quartet. And they have like a animated version of it on Cartoon Network, which my kids love, and it's kind of like a funny comedy version. The initials are, you ready? Whoever gets it, gets it. TT. Go Teen Titans!
Oh, Teen Titans.
Hey,
yes.
hey, you know what?
It's a great cartoon.
I got it wrong.
My kids
man.
watch that.
I just messed up. It's Fantastic Four.
I was going to say, okay. All right, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
there's a
but
clue there. I often have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, you're still in control.
All right, I would just do 500.
500 for Stanley Cup. Stan gave these superheroes their names because they had extra abilities. Did you notice what I emphasized?
Mm-hmm.
If you know it, Robin, just jump in.
Oh, no.
Oh. Like, what is it, X-Men?
You got it. Well done, Dr. Josh.
Well done.
Oh, boy. All right, we'll go back to +8.
Plus 8, we're going to do some mathematics. Number of days in a leap year times 2 plus 8.
I need a calculator or something.
I got that one in my head. I've got it. Robin's got it. I know. I don't even have to ask him.
Yeah, jump on it, Robin.
I've
No,
got
I'm enjoying watching you suffer. Seems so you got those last 5 right, nearly. So 738.
Really? I thought
738.
it. Oh yeah, I see. See, I can't even read properly.
Yeah,
It's 740 according to Alex Trebek.
Ah, yeah.
You forgot to add the.
The actual leap day. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, maybe you won't go to Vegas. Dr. Josh.
Yeah, we'll do the +8 for 500.
+8 for 500. 20 cubed plus 20 squared plus 8.
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm stupid.
8,000.
I think it's 108.
It's 8,000.
Yeah.
Oh, 8,408. 8,408, isn't it?
It is correct. Well done, Robin.
Nice.
You have got some mathematical skills. Have you used mathematics in your life?
Well, yeah. I mean, business is all about numbers, knowing your numbers. So profit and loss.
So the accounting side of things will be under control.
I have so much excitement in my life when I go through numbers. Wild time.
All right. Now you're in control. Robin, what would you like?
No cattle.
No cattle, 400. Lamoid with one L, lamoid, is the collective term for this South American herd animal and its relatives.
Llama.
Llama is correct. Are these the ones that spit on you?
They are, yeah. No, alpacas do actually, don't they? Is it alpacas?
Yeah, the alpacas classically, but yeah, pretty close.
Let's go no cattle again.
No cattle for 500. The Muscovy type of this fowl was originally domesticated in South America, not Russia.
Oh. And so mongoose.
Dr. Josh, it's a fowl we're looking for.
Yeah. Well, I would go back to duck.
If it looks like a duck, it's duck. Well done, Dr. Josh.
All right, let's go sticky situation.
Sticky
For
situation, 200. Candyland has changed its traditional sticky swamp of this to chocolate. Is this in Disneyland or something?
Well,
It's
it
a
just
brand.
it's a kid's board game.
Ah. So they had a swamp and it had sticky
no
stuff
idea.
in it, and they've changed it to chocolate. Why would they change it?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't even know what Candyland is. Molasses. Oh, yeah, because they're disgusting. That's why they
Molasses.
changed it. Yeah,
Oh my goodness. 1800s, man.
Yeah, that's... yeah.
All right,
Even my
I get
kids-
300.
300 sticky situation. In one of his bits, David Letterman stuck to a wall by wearing a suit made of this fascinating material.
What is Velcro?
Valkyrie, I remember that one. That was a fun show, Letterman.
I checked that out. I went there once.
Oh, cool.
It was you were there, and it had Sinead O'Connor was the guest,
Wow.
and Naomi Campbell. Yeah, Naomi Campbell and Sinead O'Connor.
Oh, Naomi Campbell, the supermodel.
Yeah.
Wow. And what was
Yeah.
Letterman like in between, ad
Yeah.
breaks?
I thought he was going to make fun of us. So the joke in that show was their headquarters was Wahoo, Nebraska. Wahoo! And so we walked up a couple of days before the show to get tickets, and they said, "Are you kidding? You're not going to get a ticket. It's like 2 days away." And I'm like, "Well, I'm from Nebraska." They're like, "Well, prove it." So I showed them my driver's license, had a Nebraska driver's license. So they let us into the show. We sat like 4th row, and I figured for sure they were going to make fun of us and use us
my
for a
God.
joke, but they never did.
Well, that's good. I have like a absolute fear of getting targeted by a stand-up comedian. I don't know why. I would just literally die inside. Like, there's not much they can do to you, but yeah. Anyway, what would you like, Dr. Josh?
Let's go. Sticky situation for 400.
Sticky situation 400. You can get things to stick with suction cups similar to those on octopus arms, where they're called these. What are they called on the octopus? Who knows? I mean,
What
why?
are suckers?
Yes. Why would we know this? Suckers is correct. Well done, Dr. Josh.
Oh. Sticky situations 500.
If you ever come across a sick octopus in ED, you can help them.
Yeah.
Sticky situation 500. Kids use this sticky pulped stuff with a hyphenated French name in arts and crafts projects.
Oh, yes.
You would have done this in primary school.
Yeah, we've done that
where
one.
there's a balloon and then you put all this stuff on it and you make a head out of it.
What is paper mache?
Paper mache is correct.
Oh,
Dr. Josh.
boy, that's been a long
Dr.
time.
Josh
Holy
has
cow.
been teeing off on 2,900 points. Robin, we've run out of maths questions. So he's
I ran out of math.
1,800 for Robin. Dr. Josh, what would you like?
Let's do medals for 100, please.
Medals for 100. Mines near Santiago in the Atacama Desert make this country the world's leading copper producer.
What is Chile?
Chile. And it's the place that had a famous mine collapse where these guys were stuck in the mines. Was that Chile? I think so. I wonder if it was copper mine.
There's been a few. Yeah, there was. I remember about 10, 15 years ago there was a real big one.
Yeah, you'd be really living on the edge being a miner in South America. Dr. Josh, what would you like?
All right. Medals for 200, please.
Metals for 200. Zircon ore is the world's main source of hafnium and, of course, this other element. Bit of a chemistry question.
What is zinc?
Let's take a look. Zirconium.
Oh, zirconium. Oh.
I always thought it was where
Ouch.
you went for your engagement ring if you wanted to save a bit of money.
Yes.
All right, Dr. Josh, what would you like?
Do medals for 300, please.
Metals for 300. This liquid metal is 13.6 times heavier than an equal volume of water. Liquid metal.
What is mercury?
Mercury. Interesting stuff. Mercury is correct. Is this the stuff that...
Damn.
That's not the stuff that's dangerous, is it?
Yeah, you can get some mercury poisoning, if you handle it too much without gloves and things.
Well,
all right, medals for 400, please.
Metals for 400. Palladium is found in small quantities in ores of this precious metal from which it was first isolated in 1803. A precious metal that has palladium in it.
What is platinum?
Platinum, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Platinum is correct. Well done, Dr. Josh.
Yeah, no idea. All right, medals for 500.
Metals for 500. This metal used to make semiconductors, was discovered by Clemens Winkler and named for his homeland. So semiconductors...
Palladium.
Wow, that'd be interesting if we have another palladium question. Germanium, you were close.
Germanium, I was trying to get
gotcha,
something.
yeah.
All right, we'll let you take over. Rob, you take the rest of them.
No, I was enjoying that. Dr. Josh showing his skills.
Come on, Dr. Josh.
Just random knowledge.
I'm not letting you off the hook.
Yeah, nothing important. Double D, please, for 100.
Double D 100. It's a 6-letter synonym for noon with 2 Ds in it.
Midday.
Midday is correct. Well
there you
done,
go. Boom.
Robin. What would you like?
Can we go back to +8?
Oh,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Jump on that.
Right, double D.
Double D for 200. When it's raining, kids love jumping in these.
Puddles.
Puddles is correct. Double D for 300. Tremble with fear. Tremble with fear with 2 Ds.
Shudder.
Oh,
ooh,
well
nice,
done.
Nice.
You got it. Well done, Robin. 400. Double D. Dangerous type of snake found in Asia and Europe.
The adder.
The
the
adder.
only poisonous snake in the UK, believe it or not.
Right, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I never would have thought that I would be a victim of a snake in England for some reason. 500. In the early 1800s, these British textile workers destroyed labour-saving machinery in protest over unemployment. And it's now commonly used by anybody who shuns new technology, like the people who burn down 5G towers because they think it's...
Ooh.
It's not idiots, but it's double D
Laggards was it? Or
Yeah,
something
you're
like that?
you're in the neighbourhood.
Yeah. I
It
can't
definitely
remember.
starts with an L.
Ooh.
Luddites.
You got it, Luddites. Well done,
Ooh.
Robin.
Nice. Oh, that's the
Finishing
best
off
one, Ben. Solid.
On
Solid.
3,300. Dr. Josh on 3,700. Well done.
Oh,
Guess.
well done.
oh, good job. Nicely done.
Great game. All right, well, that's great. Let's pop over to the UK and have a chat to Robin. Robin Waite. Tell us a bit about what you've been up to.
So I am a dedicated husband, girl dad, and surfer and cyclist. And obviously, in my spare time, I run a coaching practice called Fearless Business. So my job is really to help a lot of coaches, consultants, freelancers to articulate their value and confidently charge more for their products or services which they're selling. So hence the reason why numbers came up quite well there.
Wow.
I'm good at helping people to optimize their profitability in their businesses.
Tell us about your Guinness World Record, Robin.
Oh yeah, so this is actually 7 years ago. I think it has been taken since, but the Guinness. Do you want to see it? Actually, I can.
Oh,
Yeah,
it'd be
go on,
fantastic.
grab it.
I keep it. I have a
Oh.
special shelf over in my office, which is there it is.
It's like a real plaque. Nice.
So there we go. So I have a special shelf over my office, which has got pictures of my family on it, my Guinness World Record, a couple of awards, and a book which I cover because it's the best book that was ever written. But yeah, I was part of the largest ever speed networking event back in 2014, actually.
Well, that's fun. Did that make a little bit of media in the UK?
Not much. The company that organized it, they got some quite good media, but I think it might have made a couple of page 43 in a couple of journals that newspapers here, but yeah, it didn't make front page.
Well, there must be a lot happening in England. That would be like national news in Australia. Seriously. All right, and tell us about what types of people do you work with? Mostly, what types of businesses?
Yeah, great question. So it's mostly small grassroots business owners. So we have something called VAT threshold here, VAT, so which is typically £90,000 or less. I had an opportunity to work with much larger corporate organizations when I first started coaching, and you can see I'm like t-shirt and jeans guy. I'm not the grey-haired, suited, booted like business coach. So I found my people in just small one-person businesses that are looking to grow. So they're all typically in like the service client space. So they sell some kind of service on a time for money basis. And my objective is to help them to package up based on like their offer, based on the outcomes and results which their service delivers, as opposed to the time and materials which they put into it.
Yeah.
And what I've discovered through doing this for the last 8 years is that pretty much everyone, when they start a business, undervalues themselves, they undersell themselves. So my goal is just to help them realize, we do a bit of mindset work, but we also just run the numbers and help them figure out how they can build a profitable, sustainable business so that they essentially don't go out of business anytime soon.
Yes, and you mentioned it. How do people charge more? And the offset of that is while being able to attract customers.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, well, there's a few clues because like in every market, there's always going to be one person who's the most expensive. But typically they've been around for the longest. They've got tons of really great reviews. And the clue is the fact they're still able to get customers. So, a lot of people, when they're choosing what prices they're going to sell their product at, they look at their competitors. And like Bill could be looking at Dave, who could be looking at Trisha, who could be looking back at Dave. And it's like, well, which one of those three is an expert in pricing? And if they haven't got their pricing right, and they're underselling themselves, you could be about to copy a flawed business model, because we don't know whether they're making money or making losses. So I always, again, when we run the numbers, I do something called goal-focused pricing, which is, how much money do you want to charge? What's your capacity to be able to deliver whatever widgets it is that you sell? We divide the big number by the little number, and that starts to give us an idea about how much we should be charging for our service. And for most business owners, that number ends up being 2 to 3 times what they were thinking about charging. Wow. So it just by doing some really basic calculations, and immediately then people's eyes typically pop out of their head and they can't see themselves charging that much. And the rationale behind that is because 99% of the population aren't born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So, you know, we were talking about Trump earlier on. You know, he says he's a self-made multi-billionaire or whatever, but actually his dad gifted him $100 million or something so he could start his business. A majority of the population of this planet don't have that opportunity, and what they grew up with was conversations between their parents, which were, oh, you can't have those sneakers because we can't afford them. We can't go on holiday because we don't have the money. And lots of, you know, other much more heated conversations. And I know I certainly had them in my house. So we have this frame of reference that was instilled in us when we were children, that then as grown-ups running businesses, we're expecting that to be a useful frame of reference to make qualified business decisions. So a lot of the work which I do is actually unpicking that sort of how people perceive their own value and how they their own money mindset and focus on actually.
I've heard people say, you know, you can't charge that. It's not worth that. And, you know, my feeling was, well, if I make it, you know, even just better or make it just a unique experience or just tweak it a bit, then I could charge whatever somebody will pay for it. But I get what you're saying. There's definitely a barrier that some people have where, you know, X costs Y or whatever, and that's just the way it is. And but there's a whole lot of variation of how you deliver it and the experience that you give. Like two different services, you know. I've used one service and it was kind of a pain in the ass to use. It was cheaper. I used one which was like way too expensive, but it was just effortless. And then it's like, well, to me that's kind of worth it because it's not. You know, there's all these other factors. Mm-hmm. How do people, you know, so you talk about a small business, a one-man or one-girl show, how do they structure their offer that's going to allow them to charge more? Do they need to not necessarily put the price on the website, or do they have separate kind of landing pages that focus on a specific problem that they solve? What are some of the ways to achieve it?
Yeah, great question. Well, there's about 3 questions in there, actually. So I always recommend people don't put prices on their websites, especially whilst you're trying to figure out how much to charge. Because if it's there in black and white, then you don't have much flexibility or freedom to experiment. And literally, if you're having a bad day, you're more likely to, you know, quote somebody less than you might do, or, you know, if you're having a really confident, really, you know, buoyant day. So pricing is all about confidence. And in terms of like structuring the offer, so there's three parts to it effectively, and it's like any good product. What's the result or outcome you're offering? Can it be delivered over a fixed period of time? And then finally, can it also be delivered for a fixed fee? So that's where we're getting to. And I'll give you a very simple example. So imagine if somebody was going to buy, I don't know, a website for their business, and somebody comes to them and says, right, it's going to be $50 and we'll charge you, you know, it'll take us $50 an hour and it'll take us 20 hours. Well, the package price of that is $1,000. Now, the price hasn't changed at this point. It's still the same as the hourly rate equivalent. So the first thing is we get people to like start saying the big number and get comfortable with that. Because remember, the last 30, 40 years, they've kind of been dealing with like small numbers and can't afford this and, you know, everything needs to be cheap. Now we're just like, get comfortable saying the big number. And then really it's about tapping into the confidence. Once they've heard themselves say $1,000, you know, a few times to say 5 or 10 prospects, their confidence starts to grow, whether they sell something or not. And quite often then I get people who come back without me prompting and say, well, actually, I got bored of pitching $1,000, so I pitched it at $1,500 or $2,500. So they start just gradually incrementing the price as they get more confident and practice how to, like, you know, allow those words to fall out of their mouth and articulate their value around it. We did have one client who she was charging sort of day rates for her work, a communications consultant, and it took her 12 months, but the first deal which she struck was £180,000. So that's about $240,000. And in her words, it was worth the wait. When prior to that, she'd worked for the full 12 months, sort of only earned about £30,000 or £40,000. So, but that was just a matter of like, she was really clear on who she wanted to work for, what result or outcome she would get, how long that contract was being, what she wanted to get compensated for it.
Wow, that's a good result. And tell us about what happened when you went on a podcast and you got a larger response than you expected.
Oh yeah, so that was Ali Abdal's podcast. Actually, is a short backstory to this. At the end of 2022, I was so fed up with doing traditional social media marketing for my business. It's like done with it.
Yeah.
Because it was just a bit of a grind, day in and day out, and the results were kind of unpredictable, really, for the effort. So I stopped it altogether, and I just started focusing on what I call partnerships. So finding just cool, fun people to hang out with who kind of shared a bit of an identity, with. They were just my people. But Ali Abdal, yeah, I ended up being a guest on his Deep Dive podcast in August last year. And that one single 2.5 hour conversation, there's a funny story actually to this, just before I give the punchline. So I stepped off the train in London to go and record with Ali. First thing that happened to me, and I walked out the train station, a pigeon pooped on me, like literally, not just a little bit. My head, all down my shirt, my Fearless shirt. You probably can't just about say I always wear branded tops. I'm walking up the street. Everybody looks at me like I'm a crazy, like an absolute nutter, because I'm just laughing with poo down my head, like my shoulder and everything. And the reason I was laughing is because this podcast was so important to me. I put a lot of effort into trying to get onto this podcast. I packed 5 different shirts because I wasn't sure what the studio is going to be like or things like that. So I was just laughing because I never pack spare shirts when I go on a trip, right? Unless I'm staying overnight. Anyway, so we record the podcast, and then originally we were going to, you've got it on the screen at the moment. So we did something similar. We were going to give away 15 copies of one of my books. And within 5 minutes of the episode going live on YouTube, those 15 books that both Ali and I had signed were gone. In the subsequent 90 days, I think I shipped 700 or 800 physical copies of Take Your Shot.
Wow.
All around the globe. And they just kept coming. The inquiries kept coming for the books. And I was like, well, I might as well just send them. So I think I spent, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 worth of postage to ship these books. And since, I think I've had 3,000 leads come in just from that one podcast. I've even had one drop in whilst we've been recording now. And it's done about £200,000 or $250,000 worth of new business for me in 12 months, just from one podcast interview. So podcasts are super powerful.
Well, pressure's on. I think you're going to be a bit disappointed after this one.
I doubt that very much, Julian.
Awesome. Well, and tell us what people can find here at Fearless Business.
I mean, we've got a YouTube channel. So if you've got a business and you want to learn a bit more about it, then jump onto YouTube, search for Robin Waite or Fearless Business. You should be able to find me on there. Am I allowed to do a plug for you've obviously got
plug
the
away
there. So if you do want a signed copy of Take Your Shot, which is actually a story about one of my first coaching clients, a golf pro, who I worked with 8 years ago. You can apply for that at fearless.biz/TYS for Take Your Shot.
Awesome. Yeah. Fill that out and get a signed copy of Take Your Shot and learn all about the exciting things that Robin was talking about. Thank you very much, Robin, for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Robin's details are in the show notes. All right, let's pop over to Dr. Josh.
Ooh.
Dr. Josh, whereabouts are you located?
Yeah, I'm in Apex. Yeah, Apex, North Carolina. So just outside of Raleigh. Most people have heard of the Triangle. Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Durham. We've got Duke University and University of North Carolina and North Carolina State all right here. So I live right in that triangle area.
Lots happening there. And you got nice beaches too, haven't you?
Yes. If you head out Outer Banks, Kitty Hawk, first flight ever. There's some very nice places to visit.
I've heard that. Wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about your story, Dr. Josh. You were in the Air Force. You're a emergency doctor.
Yep.
And tell us about your experience in the Air Force, first of all.
Yeah. So just get a little bit of background. I grew up in a very rural, small town. So like Robin, there's some great stories, great information there. I love it. My dad's a railroader, so I pretty much came from nothing, a whole long line of them. I'm sure you got some railroad families out there in England as well, some in Australia too. But, I was the first McConkey to go to college. So my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my father were all railroaders. So kind of broke that mold.
My great-grandfather came out from Ireland and worked on the railroads in Kalgoorlie during the gold rush.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sweet.
Continue on, Dr. Josh.
Good history there.
Yeah.
And, have been very fortunate, emergency. I wear a lot of hats. Have you guys seen the TV show, like in the 90s, MacGyver?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So MacGyver. Yeah, so I'm the MacGyver doc. So I'm an emergency physician. I'm a commander in the military, combat vet. Worked with some special operators and things back in the day. Now award-winning best-selling author, and was a Duke professor for a while as well. So I just wear lots of different hats. The military is the career I'm definitely the most proud of, though.
Wonderful. And tell us about your book.
Yeah, be the weight behind the spear. So this book is really a call to action for people to engage in their communities. I think we all see what's happened with this Generation Z. All right, these kids, they have been super isolated. So first off, this is like about the first generation that has been on planet Earth and not ever not known what an iPhone was, right? So they've got instantaneous information at their disposal at any second. As a result, they have a lot of difficulty communicating with people, and I've seen lack of leadership skills.
Helpless,
especially. Yeah, and then you take COVID and you shut them out of everything. So I mean, you shut them out of schools, you shut them out of their churches, and they can't communicate anyways. So as an emergency doctor, I've noticed the anxiety, the depression, the suicide. It's just crushing this generation. And then as a military commander, I have these same kids. I commanded Andrews Air Force Base, and these kids just lack leadership. They lack resiliency. And I just feel that somebody has to do something. We got to take ownership of that. Like you, me, everybody, business leaders, coaches, teachers. So any community, their best resource is their people, right? Teachers, coaches, volunteers, mentors, and families. We have to pick this generation up. This book is that prescription, right? For what I have diagnosed, that lack of leadership and resiliency in this generation. And it's really a call to action for people to get engaged, and it's done well so far. So,
yes, it's like the saying, tough times make tough people, and then good times make weak people, or something like that. I can't remember. But, at the moment, I just see this. I try to keep my kids kind of out of it. There's a lot of kind of encouragement to go into kind of victim identity stuff, and well, look, my wife will be angry if he hears me saying this, but I see a loss of the kind of edge that we had, or my father had, of like just toughing through stuff. And like in England, they went through World War II, getting attacked, and everyone was on rations, and everybody understands hard work and being grateful. Now I just feel like everybody's like, poor me, it's all your fault, and it's just like, what is going on? And there's a lot of kind of misinformation and agendas being pushed, and everybody is just kind of like got an angle. Nobody's being honest. And anyway, that's enough ranting. I sound like a boomer.
Hey, no, that's those simple skills. So like really the first section of the book, there's, like 5 chapters in there on just basic leadership and accountability and how do you overcome obstacles, just trying to build some of that resiliency and get out of that mindset. Everybody is not a winner. Okay. Like everyone gets a participation trophy and a nice little ribbon. Like it's not real life. And so when they get into real life, that's where they kind of tend to struggle, and they can't, that lack of resiliency and just overcoming things. So you have to adapt and overcome. And that's our job, to teach that to this next generation. So, so I've had a crazy year. So in addition to everything else, I won the lottery. So I literally won the North Carolina Educational Lottery.
I'm starting to not like you, Dr. Josh. Like, what the hell?
Super, super blessed, man.
I reckon you should just keep that to yourself.
Yeah. So after Iraq, I didn't think I was going to live. So I had my combat tour.
Okay,
I flew medevac. Yeah, I did one air assault and was just so happy to be alive after that. I really didn't think I was going to make it through that. And it just changes you as a person. So I literally don't give a rat's ass about money in the slightest. That doesn't.
Well, that's easy to say when you win the lottery, Dr. Josh.
Yeah. So and then in February when that happened, what it's allowed me to do, is write the book. I've started a nonprofit organization, Waite Behind the Spear Foundation, to promote community engagement and volunteerism. And now we're raising money for Western North Carolina, that were damaged with Hurricane Helene and those just horrific floods. So I'm just trying to put that to good use, trying to pay that forward, and just kind of blessed to have myself in a nice position to make a difference.
And what's on the agenda coming up, Josh? You mentioned politics. I'm starting to get a bit of a feeling that you're building a bit of a platform for politics. Am I correct?
Well, I tried. So I ran in North Carolina District 13 for U.S. Congress. I lost in the primary. I was outspent by $12 million. So I didn't have anything like that, and the lottery win wasn't that big anyways. So, and nor was I going to put that money to a congressional race. I mean, are you kidding me?
No,
go cure cancer, man.
I mean, that.
What are you doing? So somebody spent $12 million on my primary, which I think is just absurd. And that's obviously one of the issues and problems with American politics. So if you had $12 million, go pick a cancer and go cure it. Like, come on now. You're going to do it on a TV commercial? That's a joke. So anyways, lost that. And so just adjust fire. And that's why the book and the foundation, and God will put you in positions to be successful and do good. And so that's what I'm doing.
Wonderful. And with the foundation, are you doing a bit of traveling around the country?
Right here, we're focused in North Carolina. We're just getting started. So the floods were right there at the end of September. I started the foundation on September 30th, and lots of paperwork and legal stuff and attorneys and trying to get some press releases and things out. So we're still building everything out, but we'll be pressing forward from here. And that's obviously the goal, is to take it national. After that, the book awards have been flowing in, so that's getting some publicity, and
that's good.
Podcasts like just like this. So I really appreciate you.
What's the bronze award you got for the book?
Yeah, so that was a real special. So that's the Nonfiction Authors Association. So as a first-time author, you put your heart and soul into something, and you just hope people care. And so it's won an Independent Press Award. It's won a New York City Big Book Award, and then this one from the Nonfiction Authors Association. So that's really from some fellow writers. So that one's special. And then there's a couple other awards that are kind of rolling in. But yeah, I feel very fortunate, and it just helps me get the message out there. That's what we're doing this for.
Sounds good. If you put your heart into something in a book, people can tell, and I think they've responded appropriately. That's great, and good luck with that. So you're going to be busy in the North Carolina area, and then probably reach out. And I can see this growing, because honestly, I think we need to leadership, adversity. These are all the things. Adversity is the thing that helps you. It doesn't hurt. Well, it hurts. Mm-hmm. But, getting through that, rather than expecting everybody to accommodate around you, what are you doing to get over the adversity? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. People have to overcome that fear of failure. Like, there's nothing wrong with failure.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you learn.
100%.
That's how you learn.
Feel
like,
the
you
pain.
Can't be afraid of it.
Yep. And it sucks, and then you learn, and that gives you meaning. Is adversity gives you meaning. Yeah. God, I sound like my grandfather. All right, wonderful. Well, thanks for coming on, guests. That was really fun. Thanks for playing, and both of our guests are doing some cool things. If you want to check them out, all of the contact details are in the show notes. Check out Dr. Josh's book as well. That sounds very good, Dr. Josh McConkey. What is it? The Spear?
Yeah, so the website is waitebehindthespear.com. So WEIGHT, is the Waite. Yeah. Waitebehindthespear.com.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thanks for that. And thanks for listening and watching. I'm going to wrap things up. See you next time. Bye.
Julian, this has been fun.